All right, guys, we got the new SYNCO headsets here. We're used to using hand radios, and they're great. The issue with hand radios is, though, that people like to keep them or misplace them. The batteries are constantly dying on them. You constantly have to try to find a place to put the radio and all that, and it's kind of a nightmare. So obviously with the cowboy hat off, I'm gonna take this off at some point, but I don't want to get sunburnt just yet. You just want to pull your mic down here, and then the mic turns on. Now the whole team can hear me. If I don't want them to hear me because I want to, trash talk Luis, I can just put the mic up like that. What's gonna be cool though is I'll be able to now direct the team without yelling, which I don't mind yelling, but I know the team gets annoyed when I'm yelling all the time. I'm a little rough around the edges, so stuff like this, I'm usually like, I don't need that. But after I actually got to use these on an actual shoot, I fell in love with them. I want to go over more on like the use case and what I actually find useful out of these, and then we'll go over all the stuff that I should go over, because yes, this is sponsored by SYNCO. But let's go over why I personally find these incredibly useful and why I will be using them into the future even more. And then again, we'll go over all the tech nerdy stuff. It's hands off. When you swivel the mic up like this, it actually mutes the mic. So if you gotta whisper, you gotta say, hey, I need you to go yell at this guy because he's flirting with the models or something, you could whisper it to them, no one's gonna hear it. And then when you're ready to communicate with the team, you could do it like this. Or for instance, there's been times in the past where I did have to yell at people because they were just messing around on set. Now I could just be like, hey guys, stop fucking around. The client's watching you. So obviously, it's a little bit more personal. Only your team can hear you, not the client and talent and everybody. But the other nice thing was the fact that they're just on your head. So they're not getting in your way. A lot of times, again, on my shoots, I'm having to be pretty physically active, and hand radios are always like poking my rib if they're on my belt clip, or popping off, or getting stuck in the seats and stuff. So obviously this stays out of your way. And again, they're incredibly light. They do take batteries. The battery door simply just opens up, and then the little battery comes out. And then if you get this whole combo package here, you'll also get 3 different chargers, so you can slap each battery onto a charger. All of them do come in their own little velvet bags here. And then you can see I think I have 6 of them in this case. Again, they're very light. Build quality feels pretty robust. I know there's a weird thing in our brain. The heavier something is, the more higher quality we assume it is. But all the materials on here, I can't tell if this is real leather, honestly, or pleather, which regardless, that's a good thing if you can't tell the difference. You can see to operate these guys right here, we only have 4 buttons. We have an on and off switch right down over here, and then we have a USB-C port too. All right, guys, let's try to find the perfect spot where we can really get a shot of him without thrashing everything too much. So, Evan, I guess stay right there real quick. Look, guys, forget I don't have to yell anymore. All right, guys, so he's gonna start a little bit closer because there's a ditch that he might jump over. So we might get some sauce on that. But then after he gets past that first ditch, he's gonna get a little bit more space. So we should get more full body stuff on there. Guys, communicate with me if I need to speed up or slow down. I'll try to speed up and get in front of him a little bit. There's a bump. There's a bump, bump, bump. So guys, there's a lot going on here for Chris. He has to saddle up 5 horses here, take people on an hour-long ride, and then we're gonna be back over here. And so he's still letting us film him, but I'm sure people are looking at us like we're crazy. We've all got these headsets on and cameras, and yeah, we look like a documentary crew. I just missed my chance to get a shot. Also, it's kind of embarrassing, my whole crew sneezing from the horses. I really wasn't expecting to like these headsets so much, but they honestly have been clutch, especially in this atmosphere. Again, there's a lot of business stuff going on. I don't want to be yelling and scaring people and confusing people and, annoying people. So this was amazing to get my friends in their worst moments. What happened? Why are you crying? He was moved by the horse.
Working with you is pretty tough.
He touched me. I think Jared's been there a couple times where I've had hay fever. And just what's happening in the corner right now, water your eyes, can't breathe. It's anxiety inducing, oddly. So I know he's going through.
We're doing fine.
Yep. So with the system, you get 500 meters of transmission. those ratings are usually for like a wide open space with no interference, no walls, no Broncos, for instance. But for us, we didn't have any issues at all. Let me double check how, let's see, 500 meters into feet. So 500 meters into feet is over 1,600 feet. It's 1,640 feet. That's a long distance. So that should just give you, you know, a good reference on how far you will be able to use them. Roller shots can be difficult like that because usually we'll have someone at base camp and then we have a handful of guys in the Bronco, the camera strapped down. We also have talent. So previously, you know, I would have to start yelling at the team while we're driving. You know, everybody having to yell and try to hear each other is a whole nother level of anxiety on top of, you know, there's a fence line right next to us and on the other side, a bunch of bushes. We're making sure Chris is safe on the horse. There's a lot going on. So yelling, you know, it's gonna release all those chemicals inside of you. That's gonna help push out some anxiety in an already anxiety inducing environment. So with these on, I was literally able, hey guys, pan. And I'm trying to drive because everybody's too scared to drive my Bronco and I drive it very aggressively to keep up with the horse. But anyways, I was able just to use a normal talking voice. You know, everybody's able to keep calm. No one's tripping out. If we're busting focus, you know, I'm not having to yell at the guy. We can just, you know, be calm and everybody can hear me because everybody has their headsets on. Guys, this was cool. Instead of me yelling, spooking horses or talent. Connor, if you can try to get some Levi's patches and then follow his movement. Okay. So as his saddle's going on, follow the movement. As the saddle pads are going on, follow the movement. You could tell him to show the patch off. If he's not busy. Film from this side, film from the shadow side. Follow it. Oh, okay, yep. Cool, come over on this side, Connor. Get him doing those straps. Yep, follow the movement. Try to get tighter in his hands and follow wherever his hand's going. Have the camera tracking them. Guys, I'm not used to like directing silently, but it makes for a way more peaceful. Not having talent look at me like I'm being mean, yelling at people. If you find a moment, you see that Levi's red patch on his butt, you get in on that. Chris, if you feel any moments, reveal that leather Levi's patch on your pants. There you go. Connor, you see how the dust is coming up from the horse and his feet? Start there and then pan back up. There you go. So you guys can see how Connor's just hand holding the S1R2 Mark II, whatever the hell it's called. It's gonna be super interesting to see if that works out at all. He's on a 2X anamorphic. You know, that increases everything. Connor, tell him he can go ahead and jump on up. So he's gonna put his left foot up and you wanna track his foot and then get his right foot swinging over. As a director and a director who can also camera op, build cameras out, you know, keep up with helping setting exposure and all that, and then going back over to talent, helping them direct and blah, blah, blah. This tool really helped me relax on set. It helped the whole team relax. So for instance, after we were done with the roller shots, we had to go and get some, you know, more handheld type shots, and Mr. Connor McCaskill was operating. Previously, I would have to like kind of be over the shoulder, or my DIT Luis would have a wireless monitor set up, and I would have to, you know, sometimes either yell at whoever's operating, be like, hey, do this, do that, do this. And then I have to go back over to the talent, start yelling at them. Sometimes people get mixed up and they don't know who I'm talking to. And again, when I'm on set, I'm like absolutely loving life. And so I could be a little bit spastic and kind of, I'm just outrunning people sometimes. And, you know, so the fact that, you know, Connor, when he was operating, he was wearing a headset as well. And I could tell him like, hey, follow the movement. Okay, now get tighter. Okay, get tighter. Make sure you know the horse is gonna kick you. You can imagine how much more professional that is versus me being like, hey, Connor, get closer. Oh, follow the action. Do this, do that. It's distracting to the talent. One, everybody can hear all the directions. Maybe, you know, it doesn't look the most professional. So this option is just way, way, way more, obviously, again, I keep saying the word professional, but just more fluid. It's a little bit more relaxing to use these versus even if I had a radio. Now everybody's gonna be able to hear a radio. Even if we put a headset into the radio, that's a lot of different running pieces. Like this is just one concise group of little headsets. You don't have to attach anything to it. Now let's go over the stuff that I hate talking about. And that's all the specific details and all the specs in it. Obviously I will have a link down in the description if you guys wanna go check it out. And you're gonna be able to read all the specs there. You're gonna see all the details and whatever questions you have, you're you're most likely going to be able to find it through that link that goes straight to their website. Now for $100, you could buy a single headset. So obviously if you need to add an additional one, like say if you only ever operate with 2 people, you could buy the 2-pack and that's gonna be $199, but then you're gonna add another person to the team. You go and buy an extra single one alone and start adding it to your system. And it just goes up from there. You get a 5-pack for $500 and you get a 9-pack for $900. And there's also a 13-pack as well. So it is cool that they do offer, a single option. So if you wanna build out your system slowly as your team or as your business grows as a freelancer. The first thing we should go over is you could set one of the headsets to a master. You go through any of them and set any of them as the master. We also have what SYNCO's calling AEC Technology 2.0. Basically, that's gonna help you kill out some of the ambient noise. It's gonna help you kill out, it's basically like a noise reduction. It's gonna help clean up the voice a little bit too. So you're not just getting like this ratty audio quality out of here and it's not gonna get distorted and all that. It was actually really clean and crisp. Pretty important because when you're trying to give out some pretty important information to keeping people from getting hurt or keeping timing up and everything, it's really important that we're having clear voices coming through and that you can hear them very clearly as well. There's also a boost mode that you can access. So say, say if we were in the Bronco and we're getting even further from the talent and we need to communicate with them, I'd probably turn on that boost mode just to help get the signal out a little bit better. But I think it's mainly for if you're doing like interior stuff to help break through concrete walls and such like that. Now, something I just learned, which I wish I knew before, if you have the master set, which usually I have the master set, I'm able to mute all the other headsets. A lot of the time, some of these guys like to bicker with each other or they're just talking, or sometimes they keep their mic down and they're having personal conversations and I have to, like everybody starts yelling at them, hey, your mic's on, like lift up your damn mic, we don't wanna hear you. I didn't know that I can mute all the headsets. So moving forward, I'm gonna start utilizing that a lot more because, I get a little bit irritated easily on set sometimes. If it's a really stressful environment, I have a lot on my plate, I do not wanna hear my team yapping off when they don't need to be. And so just being able to mute everybody like that is gonna be magical now. I wish I knew that before. When it comes to the batteries, obviously you could buy replacement batteries for them. The battery life lasts up to 24 hours. Again, there's been a handful of shoots where I didn't even bother to recharge them and they still have been working. Now, the last little bits here before we wrap up this video, obviously you do have a volume rocker. You're easily able to turn it up. I'm kind of hard of hearing. I grew up playing in like screamo bands and, playing music, producing music and stuff. So, my hearing is a little bit on the elderly side, I would say. And so usually I'm turning my stuff all the way up. For the AEC, I think that's what it's called. Basically like the noise reduction, everything, you are able to turn that on and off as well. I simply just keep it on all the headsets because I don't want to hear one of my assistants opening up a bag of candy for the 10th time in the day, So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I'm shocked that I loved these so much. And, I'm not trying to be a shill here. It's not just, oh, I love these SYNCO so much. I'm saying more so, I'm shocked that I loved using headsets. I always just thought like, oh, I don't need those. I usually have an assistant or some sort of AD. Majority of my shoots aren't big enough to have an AD on it, but usually who's ever's closest to me becomes my AD. So yeah, anyways, I was just, again, shocked that I was like, oh, I actually have a strong use case for these. And so that's what I'm talking about then. That's why I'm sharing it with you guys. If you guys have any questions, put them down in the comments. If you think I'm lying about anything, you want to try me, put it down in the comments. If you just want to chit chat and, maybe share how you would be able to use some of these. I'm always learning things from you guys as well. So I love that. And that's why I love YouTube and this community and everything. But anyways, that's it. Shout out to SYNCO for sponsoring this video. And also shout out to SYNCO for letting me actually keep them because they're actually very useful. That's it for this. Hope you guys enjoyed. Rare, traditional me sitting in front of a camera talking about gear. It's been a while. I enjoyed it, even though I went crazy with the lighting setup. You guys missed it, but we just took this whole setup through the most narrow pathway. And the camera's getting smacked. And I just find it hilarious that, like, one, I'm doing this out of this is a passion project. I just love shooting cowboy stuff. And this is the stuff I would do professionally just a year ago. But now I get to do it for fucking YouTube and just have fun with it. But I am saying this without checking the footage. It could end up looking all shit. We'll see.